Hello, everybody. Dan DeFedericis of Saratoga Report, and I am here in a sponsored content post video with Saratoga Springs Commissioner of Finance, Minita Sanghvil, who is also, as you no doubt know, a candidate for New York State Senate in the 44th District of the Senate, and which covers, I believe, all of Saratoga County and part of Schenectady County. Is that correct?
Yes, it's all of Saratoga County, the city of Schenectady, and the town of Niskayuna.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. And how you've you for what is a long and grueling campaign, you look darn good. How are things going?
Things are going really well. We have a lot of momentum, and we're very excited about that.
Okay, good. Now, for those that haven't followed this race closely, let me just back it up a little bit. And why did you decide to run for this seat?
So, my journey as an immigrant in the United States has not, sort of been an easy one. Let's say I've worked on the shop floor at Walgreens and Walmart. I've worked my way up to corporate America, and eventually got a PhD and became a business professor. So I've seen life, in all its different forms. And along the way, I found love. I got married, have a son. He goes to the public school here in Saratoga. And I feel very grateful for everything that America has given me. I feel that I've achieved my American dream. And I feel that every single person in America should have that same opportunity that I have been given. And that's really sort of a values-based answer on why I'm running. Why am I running for this specific position? So I served on the library board for 5 years. And then I served on the city council. Now I'm in my second term there. And when we got on the city council, it was just post-COVID. And we really sort of folded our sleeves and got to work, and were able to have the third fire station built, hire 16 new firefighters. Really, if you look at spending that we did on public safety in that time period, it went from like 23 million to 36 million today. So there was a big increase. We spent money on body camera technology, on data analytic technology for the police. We got a ladder truck, an ambulance, and all sorts of investments in public safety. We also, got a first ever homeless shelter built. And that was an important thing. It ensured that we were looking at the needs of our community, creating a safer, more vibrant community. So I felt like we got a lot of
strong advocate of that. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you were a very strong advocate for that homeless shelter, right?
Well, yeah, because the thing is, a lot of homeless were sort of living in the parking garages. And that was creating a very unsafe situation. A lot of people didn't want to come downtown. It was hurting small businesses, but it was also making the homeless population unsafe, right? They were open to the elements. A lot of kids would drive by and throw things at them. So it was creating a situation that was becoming really a lose-lose very quickly, right? And so ensuring that they were getting the treatment that they needed, the support that they needed at the homeless shelter with RISE, became the best case scenario that we could do in that situation. So really, my reason for running for state senate right now is we have an incumbent who's been in office for 47 years. And essentially has not been doing a lot. His last big bill was in 1999. That's 25 years ago. I have students at the college I teach at that are, born post that. We really need better representation and more effective advocacy for specific issues in that are impacting our district.
Okay. Now, you've certainly gotten out there during this campaign, but to some outside of Saratoga Springs, you may be a bit of an unknown. And you and I have talked in the past, and you've pointed out to me that you're more moderate than people give you credit for. You come from the corporate world, you cut your teeth there, and you vowed to me, and when we've talked off camera here, that you'll be part of the Democratic majority should you win, but you are prepared to push back if
Mhm.
people from downstate are pushing an agenda that this district, the upstate 44th district, would not be in agreement with. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So the thing about that, right, is things are very different in New York City than they are in upstate New York. And it's important that somebody from upstate New York is able to advocate for our needs here. Whether it's access to dental health, or whether it's access to social workers, or access to counselors. There are lots of things that we don't have here. So, during my time canvassing and all of that, I've learned Schenectady, for example, doesn't have a diabetes, specialist. They have one that's in a hospital. So by the time you get to them, you're very late. But we need a lot more of those resources that they have plenty of in New York State. If you don't like X, you can go to Y. Whether it's taxing, whether it's infrastructure, I think I have a very moderate sort of fiscally responsible approach to these things. And I think it's important to have somebody on the Dem caucus that comes from a finance background, that comes from a business background, and that can advocate for small businesses, that can advocate for big businesses even, and sort of bring that finance perspective to bear in the Dem majority.
And you are a fighter. You will fight for what you believe in. I've seen that at city council, right? So you're not afraid to challenge within the Democratic caucus for things for your district, correct? Correct?
Absolutely. I mean, so, and our district is so big, and our needs are so different. So, in Moreau, the biggest issue is Saratoga biochar. In Schenectady, that's not at all, what they're thinking of, right? In Schenectady, it's homelessness, it's food insecurity, it's, there's this trash on the highway and stuff like that they want to clear out. So I've spent a lot of time in these communities understanding the needs, from Moreau to Niskayuna. In Niskayuna, it's all about water and sewer, facilities, and how to improve them, and how to get them updated. In Saratoga Springs, it's homelessness, it's sidewalks and bike lanes. In Milton, it's development, and the plan for the future. They're coming up with the comprehensive plan. So lots of different needs in lots of different places. And I think it's important that we have somebody who's advocating for rural Saratoga, who's advocating for better cell coverage in rural Saratoga, who's advocating for farms,
You're
who's
here.
advocating for, public safety needs. These are all important things, but they're all different across our district. And we need people to advocate for that. Can you
Thank
just
you.
hold on for 1 second? The lights have gone off. I just need
Okay.
to. Here we are. Sorry.
Excellent. Okay. I didn't even catch that. And Senator Tedisco, our current state senator, he's in the Republican minority in the New York State Senate, and you touched on that a little earlier. And I worked in Albany for 20 years. It in both houses of the legislature, minority, meaning the minority parties, members of the minority party have an almost impossible task to get any bill of substance passed. And you would be in the majority should you be elected, and you would have much, if from what I've seen from 20 years down there, you would be much more likely to get significant bills passed. What would you like to accomplish in your first term?
So I do want to point out that Dems being in the majority is a much more recent phenomenon, and that when Mr. Tedisco was elected to the Senate, he was in the majority, and yet no substantial bill came through from him. My agenda is pretty clear. I want to focus on economic development. Our area, Capital Region, is growing, and we're getting once in a generation amount of money coming into this area. So I want to create an innovation corridor, and I've written an op-ed about this. So an innovation corridor has been in existence in many places across the different regions. So you have one in North Carolina, in the Research Triangle Park. You have one in Houston. You have obviously the most famous one, Silicon Valley. And so I want to create a, a corridor that connects Saratoga to Schenectady to Troy to Albany. Because we're getting like $40 million from Chips and Sciences coming here. We're getting 120 million plus from Kathy Hochul's AI agenda coming here. And we have another 11 billion coming for semiconductor development and research here. So we have an opportunity right now to create this innovation corridor that will lead to more entrepreneurship, more innovation, more jobs in this area. And I hear a lot of parents who say there aren't as many job opportunities and their kids have to go to New York City or Texas or
Boston,
California, yeah, in lots of different places. And what they would love is for their kids to be able to live here, come back here, have jobs here, and this will not only connect the places, but it connects the community colleges, the SUNY colleges. It connects the medical institutions. It connects the BOCES, and so when you create these connections, you're also fueling more sort of synergies. You're fueling more activity in this region.
Great. Should you win this election and you become a state senator, could you describe how you would like to be viewed by constituents, even those that may disagree with you?
Absolutely. So on the city council in Saratoga Springs, which, if you know Saratoga Springs, we love our drama here. And whether it was all five Dems or whether it's Dems or Republicans, I've always been sort of a voice of reason. I've always been very deliberate about how I approach things. I've always sort of tried to consider all stakeholders who are involved in the process, and I've listened to everyone and their concerns. And I'm hoping that I will continue doing that in the Senate. This is who I am. It's not going to change. I really enjoy working with Carrie Werner. I'm looking forward to having her as a partner in the assembly. And I really respect the way she sort of goes into the nitty-gritty of each bill. When I talk about something with Carrie, like, she will go into detail as to why this bill is a good idea, but these are the 5 reasons why it doesn't work for this region. And that's the kind of person I'd like to be as well. I think being thoughtful, being deliberate, understanding the needs of our community, and then advocating fiercely for that. That's how I'd like to be, in the Senate, and that's how I'd like to be viewed.
Terrific. I have one final question, and I'm going to preface this by saying I can't believe that we're already a week out from the election. It seems so far off, and it just snuck right up on us, as they often do. Why are you going to win next Tuesday? Tell me why you are going to win next Tuesday.
So, I've been putting in a lot of the work. I don't know if you know this, but every weekend since January, I have been going to a different faith-based organization in our community, in our district. So I've been going to churches, to synagogues, to temples, to Islamic centers. And I've spent time in our community understanding the needs of our community. I've spent time talking to people, and I don't go and announce, like, hey, I'm coming to your church or anything. We just go to the church. We spend time understanding the needs, whether it's drugs and rehabilitation, or whether it's homelessness, or whether it's poverty, whatever it is that the community is talking about. I want to hear so that I can better advocate. I spent last weekend, I was doing a ride along in Schenectady with their police, because I wanted to understand what their needs were. I understand our police needs here in Saratoga because, I spend time doing their budget and stuff. So I've really spent time in our community, talking to people, learning from them, visiting them at, festivals and all sorts of things. And I feel like people appreciate people who are working hard to make a difference, to understand their lives. People see that the representation we are getting right now in the state Senate is really ineffective. Our state legislature in the last legislative cycle, they have passed over 1,200 bills. Okay. And Jim Tedisco has passed 4 out of those, 4, of which 3 are local laws. Essentially, he's passed 1 bill. And he's drawing the highest salary of all legislators across the country for that 1 bill. Essentially, what we are getting from Mr. Tedisco is ribbon cuttings. That's all. He's, he shows up for ribbon cuttings, but he's not bringing money to our region. He's not advocating for our needs. He showed up, let's say, to an EV charging station ribbon cutting, but he actually voted against EV charging in public lots. So it's that kind of hypocrisy that, I'm trying to sort of call out. We've done a whole Truth About Tedisco campaign to let people know about his votes, because he's a nice guy. And, what I really wish from the bottom of my heart is a happy retirement for him. And we appreciate the public service he's done, but we need somebody else to carry on the baton. And I think people are ready for change.
Oh, well, thank you for balancing that. I really appreciate that answer. Thank you so much. Because there's so much hatred in this world these days politically, and you're not part of that. So excellent. And I wish. Oh, sorry, you're going to say something?
No. I mean, you have to appreciate, right? Here's someone who has put in 47 years of his life in public service. And I appreciate that. I don't agree with his votes, but I think that it's time for change.
Terrific. I wish you the best of luck a week from today. Thank you for joining us. And maybe we can even do this once quickly before next Tuesday. Thank you.
Sure. Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye.